Hello, kiddos. This is Mr. B. Today is Monday, the 30th of March, and this is your first distance learning lesson that I have prepared for you. The standards that are going to be covered are 8th grade music creation 1 and advanced music technology creation 1. Don't worry about this 8th grade thing. You 6th graders can handle where we're at. And here, ultimately, dance if you must, but make waggle dance music. That is the purpose, ultimately, of this lesson, is that you will be making music. So you're going to watch a primary video that explains the way a species communicates in nature about the location of a limited food resource. And then you're going to watch some other videos, one of which is just sound, for how humans use sound and movement to communicate that are possibly related to the methods used by this other species in our food web. You will then reflect on all the content you've studied and write down in words the types of musical elements that you think would either actually or metaphorically communicate the location of a pollen cache relative to the location of a beehive. Now, you're not limited to my resources. You can go out there on the web and look around, but think about some of these concepts. What sort of information is going to be communicated by bees? Once you have some idea of what you would like to make sonically, you're going to use your iPad and GarageBand to find sounds that might match the ideas that you were imagining during your reflection. It's really important that you take time and write down in some sort of notes what you were thinking about before you make the work. You may make sounds outside of your digital device in exploring this project, and you can record it with the iPad and then import it into the iPad if you wanted. Again, you can dance all you want. You can use sign language too, but make music. In this case, please make music that you think will creatively and successfully convey your intention to create the music that represents the waggle dance. Now, if you've made something that you're proud of and you want to share it with me, I'll show you how to do that here a little bit later. Related to how bees might communicate, there's an expression which is "as the crow flies." Now, "as the crow flies" is also synonymous with the expression "a beeline." They're idioms that suggest that things travel, certain critters travel directly in a straight line. They don't waste any time. Well, we've discovered for some time now that that's not true. Ultimately, the way things move is somewhat predictable. But even from a mathematics perspective, you need to understand the difference between what is displacement and distance. Distance is the actual way that someone traveled. Displacement is ultimately the shortest distance between those 2 points. In fact, I used to sort of joke that displacement is the shortest distance between 2 points because it's a straight line. What type of information do you think that bees communicate to their hive? Is it purely, obviously we're going to say maybe it is purely a direct shot from A to B. Or maybe they say, go east this many flaps of your wings and then go north this many flaps of your wings. We don't know for sure. That's part of what you're going to imagine. Just so you're all aware, in case anybody wanted to do the math. Yes, C here equals 5 blocks. Another question, do bees include units? Who knows? Is it like this for bees? Is it like a map? Like you're here at Chavez and you want to go to Krispy Kreme because that's where the sugar is. Is this map data communicated, or is map data really similar to how bees communicate? We don't know, but that's what you get to explore. You're going to use your iPad and you're going to paste this link ultimately, and that link is then going to take you here to my YouTube site. There is the video here that you'll watch about the bees in the hive. There is a little bit of Jalisco Ballet Folklorico, which is amazing. And then there's also the classic Flight of the Bumblebee, but in this case in a clarinet quartet, which sounds really good. So just inspiration. These two things are really just kind of inspiration for you, and this is really the source and reference material. Let's see here, coming down further. So ultimately, you're going to use your iPad, GarageBand, and generate sounds, rhythm, and melody that convey the intention to make music for the waggle dance. Now, here is your rubric. There's 4 elements: tempo, the beat, rhythm, sound and melodies, and meaning or message. We don't have grades, obviously, right now, but just in terms of quality, worker being blow end, drone being, pretty good, and queen being you're just killing it. Tempo, there's an otherworldly and immersive element to your work. Rhythm, the density and diversity of a beehive is shown through multiple rhythms, or with multiple rhythms. Sounds and melodies are evidence. At least 3 patterns or melodic phrases are cooperating successfully. And meaning, the listener can taste the honey already from the pollen cache. Meaning, we get a sense that there's a message being conveyed in the work. Here are some GarageBand resources that you will need. In GarageBand, this little plus button is what allows you then to ultimately add sections. So everything that I did in this work, in fact, started out as just these basic tracks, and then I duplicated them multiple times and then deleted the front ones and then deleted the end ones so that I had an ending. Also, you'll see that my strategy for how I chose to represent sound is, again, sort of an A and a B thing like the triangle. When I chose not to go with the hypotenuse of the triangle, I suggested you might go for a particular distance in one direction, turn, and go at that distance in another direction. And this message is then played throughout. And then these are other types of messages that I imagined might be present. And here near the end, we get closer to a human interpretation of dance. When you are adding those song selections, you select all of them when you want to see the whole screen. When you want to duplicate a particular section, you have to select any one of them, and then it'll duplicate that section. Otherwise, the duplicate icon will not appear. And when you go back to your screen and you want to work on the whole work, you got to make sure you click all again so you can see all the files. Otherwise, you'll come back and freak out and wonder where everything went. When you are done and you are ready to produce the music, here is my song in the outside file. So you're not in the song, you're just looking at your songs. You tap on it once, and it allows you to share them. When you click share, it lets you make a song, a ringtone, or the project. The project would be sharing all of the WAV files with someone. I don't need you to do that. I only need you to share a song with me. And there's relatively a variety of qualities there. Pick the lowest quality so that it's easy for you to transmit via email. This is where in the past I mentioned if you made some cool sounds, you can make ringtones, and you can actually make custom ringtones for your iPad right there, or other devices as well. And at the end here is some more information about the standards for your parents to the degree that they are interested in this. You will have a copy of this entire PowerPoint presentation, and you'll be receiving this video from me online. And lastly, here is what this thing looks and sounds like. I'm giving you a much better version online. But that's that first information, maybe the x-axis to the right, and then maybe this would be the y-axis going down or south, and then that information is repeated. And then here's some other content. So in each case I've got at least, like I said, 3 sounds. I went for 5, and it gets very dancey, as you'll see here near the end. But you'll hear the full version online. Hope you all are doing well. If you got any questions, please give me a shout. Take care, kiddos.